What is going on, guys? This is Miasin, so I hope you guys are doing great. I definitely am, and I'm actually doing much better than, a couple of days ago when I was super sick. But of course, Konami seriously helped me recover thanks to the new Blue Eye support cards. I think it already went into effect when I started testing the new combos. The funny thing about the new cards is that the first time I read them, I was like, meh, these cards they're just mid. And then I read them again, and I was like, yeah, they're pretty good. And then I read them again, and I was like, yeah, these cards are broken. And then I started playtesting with them, I was like, oh my god, these cards are insane. So yeah, I am very excited to show you guys my combos for Blue Eyes featuring the new support. And we're again still missing one card for the structure deck. Apparently, it's an extra deck monster, and it's supposed to be really good. You know, Konami likes to keep the best for last, or hopefully, I want to believe they are. This video can get to 1,000 likes, so we will be making a full spreadsheet video on this deck. This video will feature 5 combos, and I will be showing you guys a lot in this video. But the spreadsheet video will be even more in-depth because I will be going over how to beat every kind of hand shop, and you absolutely do not want to miss it out. So make sure you smash the like and subscribe button, and with that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, so combo number 1, this is unbelievable. This is the first time in history that we can do that. Look at what you can do when your hand is a double effect veiler. And yes, I am not joking, you can actually draw 2 effect veilers, and that actually gets you somewhere. I swear on my life, Effect Veiler at this point is basically... It has Eyes of Blue. It might as well be Effect Veiler with Eyes of Blue at this point, and mention Blue Eyes White Dragon at its card text. Just for the sake of it. It doesn't have to change its effect, but bro, I swear to god, this card has so much synergy in the Blue Eyes deck, it might as well be a Blue Eyes card. So yeah, normal summon, and then link off into this card right here, Spirit with Eyes of Blue. It requires any level 4 or lower dragon or spellcaster monster, and it's pretty much kind of like the Striker Dragon for the deck, so it's going to be searching for your Mausoleum of White. I guess you can kind of compare it to Striker Dragon or Salamangreat Veilinx, and this card right here, it's not the best field spell in the world. It reminds me a little bit of Salamangreat Sanctuary because it's not a card that you're trying to search for terraforming, you're not trying to play multiple copies of this card. If you physically hard draw it, it's a little mediocre. But it's still a good card for your deck, and it will turn some bad hands into very playable hands. So this card right here has 2 effects. Actually has 3, but the third effect is really bad. So on the field, during your main phase, once per turn, you get an additional normal summon for a level 1 Light Tuner. And another effect is once per turn, you can target one face of monster you control. That's already good, because then you can trigger your maidens. Send one normal monster from your hand or deck to the grave. Any normal monster, but usually it's going to be Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then the targeted monster gains attack equal to the level of the monster sent to the grave multiplied by 100. This can kind of help you out some high attack monsters if you can target your Blue Eyes, send another Blue Eyes or something, and then it becomes like 3,800 attack. Usually this doesn't really matter. It's the fact that you can foolish your deck for a Blue Eyes White Dragon. And now just like that, you can tribute your Spirit with Eyes of Blue, and you can special summon any Blue Eyes monster from your hand or grave. So even if you draw the one of Blue Eyes, if you only play one, it's fine. You can still special summon it from the hand. So there is no actual Garnets in this deck. If you draw the field spell, it's fine. If you draw Blue Eyes, it's fine. Every path leads to Rome. And then extra normal summon for the Effect Veiler. And just like that, we can turn 2 Effect Veilers into Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. And this card is quite good, I'm not gonna lie. So it has multiple effects. The first one is a continuous effect, so neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time. If you are playing against, like, let's say the Galaxy Ice Tachyon deck, they cannot use the effect of Schwarzschild Infinity Dragon. So that's how I won, actually, a game against someone. He had a really good hand with a lot of extenders, and I just was able to turn, like, 2 random monsters into Spirit Dragon, and he just couldn't out it with his engine. And there is another effect for Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon where you can negate the graveyard effect of any card or effect in the grave, which is very good. And I said in the grave, not necessarily in your opponent's grave. I will be covering this very soon. And also, you can tribute it during either player's turn to summon a Light Dragon Synchro monster from extra deck, and it's treated as a Synchro summon, if I recall correctly, or not, actually. It's not. And destroy it during the end phase of this turn, so you can summon your Blue Eyes Spirit Ultimate Dragon, which is pretty much an Omni-Negate. So yeah, all of that with 2 Effect Veilers. This is unbelievable. This deck is really going into the right direction, especially when we consider the fact that this was, like, the worst case scenario when you draw complete garbage. Now, what happens when you draw well? Alrighty, so you probably have seen this combo circulating online already, but this is what you can do with Sage with Eyes of Blue and 2 discards, or 1 discard, and if you want to play a brick in your deck, then it's going to be a little better, I guess, in a way. Well, it's not really, but yeah, you're just gonna make your deck worse in a way. Anyways, you search your Maiden, and then you place your True Light on the field, and then that is going to be setting their prayers with Eyes of Blue, which is kind of like a melody, but better. Instead of searching 2 bad cards, you get to search your deck for a level 1 Light Tuner. It can even be Effect Veiler, and then 1 Spell or Trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then link off for Spirit, search the Mausoleum, and then activate that, and then foolish your deck for Blue Eyes White Dragon, of course, and then tribute your Spirit with Eyes of Blue, revive back their Blue Eyes, and then trigger your Maiden of White, revive back from the grave, and then extra normal summon for the Master with Eyes of Blue, recycle back your Sage from the graveyard to the hand, and then prayer effect, target your Blue Eyes, equip your Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, summon your Spirit, tag out into Ancient Fairy Dragon, destroy your Mausoleum of White to search Dragon Ravine, because that card can be used to foolish your Chaos Max, and I have Chaos Max and Ultimate Dragon in the grave. So we'll go Sage with Eyes of Blue, target your Maiden, and then use her effect, and then also chain your Ultimate Fusion. Alternatively, you could also use Ultimate Fusion first, it doesn't matter, because if your opponent had Nibiru, he would have used it before you could use your Ancient Fairy Dragon anyway, so at this point, we already checked for pretty much everything. But yeah, summon your Magia so that yeah, this card's this card's extremely good, and it can negate Nibiru evenly a lot, but not Dark Rule or Droplet, but who cares? Anyways, yeah, revive back your Spirit, your Sage with the Maiden of White, and then the Sage will special summon the Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then Synchro Summon for Actual Synchro Stardust Dragon. The reason why we want to go into this card is because we can Synchro Summon on the opponent's turn with it. So yeah, now summon your Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon on the opponent's turn. We'll go True Light to revive back the Blue Eyes White Dragon, which also revives back the Maiden of White, and then tag out your Actual Synchro to summon Stardust Dragon, and Synchro Summon using monsters you control. It doesn't necessarily have to be with Stardust Dragon itself. So we'll go for another Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, and now we'll go Spirit number 1 to summon Blue Eyes Spirit Ultimate Dragon, and then Spirit number 2 to summon Crimson Dragon, and then tag out, summon King Calamity, and just like that, 1 card combo ends on Dragon Master Magia with King Calamity or Cosmic Blazar, even if they ban King Calamity. But if they ban Crimson Dragon, then it's still double Spirit Dragon, which is really good. And the amount of bricks that you gotta play for this deck, for this combo, sorry, I guess Ultimate Fusion, this card's not really fantastic. The Master with Eyes of Blue, this card's also not great. Apart from that, it's Dragon Ravine and Chaos Max. That's about it. So you don't have to play the Burst Stream of Destruction or anything else that's just like weird for no reason. So yeah, it's relatively clean, and again, off of a 1-card combo, which is, chef's kiss. Okay, so from here on out, you will start learning, I guess, interesting combos about this deck that I discovered yesterday, because I play tested for like 10 hours or something. The thing is, again, I was sick for a full week, so I had nothing else to do, so I just played Yu-Gi-Oh! Until like 4 AM pretty much every single day. But yeah, Neo Kaiser Seahorse is a new 1-card combo, so look at what you can do with that. So normal summon, and then link off for Spirit, Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. Use it to foolish your Maiden of White, and then this is going to be searching for the Mausoleum, obviously. It's the only card that you can search, just like Striker Dragon and Phalanx again. Anyways, foolish your Blue Eyes, and then revive back the Blue Eyes, revive back your Maiden of White, which can use her effect on the field as well. It's not just from the hand. Place your True Light, and then set your prayers with Eyes of Blue. Discard any other card. Search for the Sage, and this card right here, the new Trap card. It's a great interruption, Majesty with Dragons of White. And you're going to be using prayers to get your Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. And then extra normal summon for the Sage, search for the Effect Veiler, and then Synchro Summon for Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. And with one single, you know, not even like a full starter, a full combo, we still have Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon with the Trap and Effect Veiler. And this, of course, leads to multiple interruptions just on its own. And we also have like a pop and a negate with follow-up in the form of True Light. Off of just one card that isn't even, you know, like a real starter. It's more of like an extender, but it can also be a starter, which makes this deck ultra consistent. As a matter of fact, this is just going to prove how much of an extender this card is, the Neo Kaiser Seahorse. If you have Sage with Eyes of Blue and Neo Kaiser Seahorse, the better normal summon is Sage. Even if this card gets stopped, it's not the end of the world. As a matter of fact, I want to say this deck is very proficient at beating Effect Veiler, Infinite Impermanence, Ghost Mourner, especially Ghost Mourner. Ghost Mourner does nothing. The only hand traps that I think are somewhat decent against this deck would be Ash and Ogre. And there's another one that is insta-win against Blue Eyes, but I'm not going to cover it yet. I'm going to make a full video on it very soon, but it's going to be a scary card when this deck will come out. Anyways, normal summon Sage with Eyes of Blue, and then Imperm the Sage. That is going to be completely fine, so we can link off into the Spirit, search your field spell, and then activate your Mausoleum of White, send the Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then you're going to be tributing, revive back the Blue Eyes, and this is where it gets really interesting. So we have a Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field, so this card can special summon itself from the hand, and it is a level 4 Dragon Light Tuner, So you can Synchro Summon for Crimson Dragon. So go Chilling 1, Chilling 2, send your Maiden of White, and search the Synchro Rumble. This card is extremely good in this deck because you can revive back any tuner from the grave and it doesn't negate the effect, so you can revive back your Maiden of White. And it locks you under Synchro only for the rest of the turn, but by the time you get to search this card and activate it, you already went into the only non-Synchro monster that you're trying to summon anyways, so it is not much of an inconvenience. And even if you're trying to summon Dragon Master Magia, you can just summon it on the opponent's turn, because that's a fusion, so you wouldn't be able to summon it on your turn right away. But Ultimate Fusion is a quick play spell, so you have no problem summoning it on your opponent's turn. And as a matter of fact, I want to say that's even better, because at least you are mitigating the impact of Dark Ruler and Droplet, so you summon Master Magia after you get hit by those cards. Anyway, Synchro Rumble will be reviving back the Maiden of White, which can use her effect in order to set the True Light. And then once again, you're going to be setting the prayers. Discard whatever card in your hand, search for the Saga of the Blue-Eyed Dragon, revive back the Blue Eyes and the Maiden of White, and then prayers, of course, equip your Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate, normal summon Sage, and then search for Effect Veiler, Synchro Summon it into Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, and this is the King Calamity lock through an Imperm using 2 cards. And there is pretty much nothing else for your opponent to Imperm, because if he tries to Imperm for much later, it's going to be too late, because you can protect yourself from Imperm using Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon when it targets one of your Blue Eyes monsters. And since your first Blue Eyes will tag out into Spirit Ultimate Dragon before going into Crimson Dragon, you can also negate that Imperm. So if your opponent tries to use Imperm as a board breaker, it's not going to work. He has to use it as a hand shop. But to be fair, the best application for the Imperm would be on the Sage with Eyes of Blue, and just pray that it gets you there. But more often than not, it just doesn't. This combo is not a very complicated combo. It's also not like the Link monster as a choke point. It really just doesn't matter. So yeah, there's nothing that your opponent can really do to beat this. And honestly, even without King Calamity, this combo is still really oppressive because of everything else that you're doing. So the Veiler that you're searching, the fact that you could summon Cosmic Blazar, like I said, the Blue Eye Spirit Ultimate Dragon that can negate anything on the field. So you have a bunch of Omni negates and a lot of diversity in the form of interruptions that you have, on top of an extremely good follow-up. And all of that just off of two cards, and again through an infinite impermanence, so your opponent only has 5 cards left in hand. So like I said, this deck is extremely good at beating hand traps, and this is just like a sneak peek of what it can do. This is why you really have to smash the like button, because 1000 likes equals the spreadsheet video, and I will show you guys everything that this deck can do. And oh my god, it's just insane. This deck is... it's already good, so imagine if the last card in the structure deck is broken. Anyways, now I have a Sage with Eyes of Blue, Maiden of White, and my goal is to beat Effect Veiler and Ghost Ogre, which is very much possible. So the Sage will be getting hit by Veiler, that is completely fine by me. Link off into Spirit. If my opponent ogres me here and I have the Maiden, I just win the game. So yeah, nobody's gonna ogre that or the field spell, because this is free value that I get off of 1 card. Imagine wasting 2 hand shops on 1 single card. Then you get hard punished by me just activating Maiden of White and then getting True Light and then setting my my spell card. People will always hold their Ghost Ogre for this card, and they will always hold Ash for Prayers with Eyes of Blue. So that's those are the best choke points, I guess you can say. But even then, I can still beat the Ghost Ogre, I guess you can say. So I'll Synchro Summon for the Blue Eye Spirit Dragon first. I'll be getting hit by Ogre on the True Light, and the True Light has to destroy every monster on my field when it dies, unfortunately. But I was very careful. I summoned Blue Eye Spirit Dragon first, and this card can negate the graveyard effect of any card or effect in the graveyards, including my own graveyard. So I can negate my own True Light that would try to destroy myself, and just like that, the Blue Eye Spirit Dragon survives, and I can use its Sag Out effect as well on my opponent's turn. So a 2-card combo guarantees Blue Eye Spirit Dragon through double hand trap, and if my opponent didn't have the Ghost Ogre, I would have been able to go for a second Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, which would have been the nail on the coffin. It would have just been absolute Exodia. Alrighty, now for the deck profile. As you can see, we are playing a lot of hand traps, a huge amount. By the time we get to the Blue Eye structure deck, the new Molchami monster will come out, so obviously there's no reason not to playtest with the new cards from Rage of the Abyss and everything that comes before that. So yeah, 3 Molchami, 4 arrows. This card is basically like Maxi, so you might as well play it. If you tried going second, you pretty much win the game on the spot. And if you tried going first, it's just going to be your discard fodder with Prayers of the Eyes of Blue. So that's the reason why these Molchami monsters, I think they're just absolute staples in the Blue Eyes deck, because there's pretty much no drawback in drawing them. They're just always going to be the discard fuel. Ash, obviously this card's just really good. It's really good in the mirror match. Dominus Purge is also insane in the mirror match because you can use Dominus Purge to negate the prayers with Eyes of Blue. Infinite Impermanence, shockingly enough, is actually the worst hand trap that I play in this deck. So you might want to consider swapping it for something else. Maybe Ghost Ogre could be good. Maybe Board Breakers could be good. Maybe Droplet or Super Poly in the main deck could be good. So you might actually prefer an approach where you're mixing hand traps and Board Breakers. And then for Effect Veiler, this is one of the best hand traps in the deck just because, well, I mean, if not the best hand trap because it's almost an engine card at this point. It's a level 1 light tuner. If the other hand traps were also level 1 light tuner, oh my god, this deck would be so consistent. It just wouldn't know the definition of breaking, but even then, this deck is still very consistent as it is. I've already showcased how double Effect Veiler is still Blue-Eye Spirit Dragon, so obviously if you draw, you know, your other actual real starters, then the deck is drastically better. But yeah, so that's 18 hand traps, which gives you a 96% chance of drawing a hand trap going second, and that gives you around 76% chance of drawing 2 hand traps in your opening 5 going second, or a 40% chance of drawing 3 hand traps. While you have, I don't know how many one-card combos that would be, 15? Yeah, you have 15 one-card combos, so that would be 91.9% chance, I think, of drawing a one-card combo going first. But you also have your 2-card combination, so you can draw double Veiler, or Veiler with Saga, or Veiler and Synchro Rumble, and that also gets you to a Blue-Eye Spirit Dragon. So yeah, just about every path leads to Rome, no problemo. So yeah, for the actual starters, 3 Sage with Eyes of Blue, obviously that's a given, 3 Maiden of White, 3 Prayers, and 3 Bingo Machine. This card is complete garbage. The only card that this can search really is Prayers with Eyes of Blue. If you have Bingo Machine and Prayers, you can't activate the Bingo Machine because then you are playing into Droll for no good reason, and this is not an Ash bait. Because again, you can't really search anything of value, so you might as well just discard it for a Bingo, or you discard something else, and then if they Ash the Prayers, then your Bingo can search Saga of the Blue-Eye Dragon, so that gives it somewhat of a utility, but honestly, this card is just really bad when your hand is already good. But if your hand is bad, then Bingo Machine randomly makes it good. So it's it doesn't increase the ceiling of your deck, it just increases the consistency. Yo, if this video can get 10,000 likes, I'm gonna make a petition so that Konami just has to print actual good Blue Eyes monsters, because the main deck Blue Eyes monsters are so bad that honestly I think the only playable one is Blue Eyes Red Dragon. The other ones are just actual dog shit. Anyways, 2 Saga with 1 Synchro Rumble. This can be searched off of Crimson Dragon, so that's the reason why you play it. And you want to play 2 Saga because sometimes you might have to start with the first one, and you want to follow up with the second one in case your one of Blue Eyes Red Dragon gets banished, because this card can also revive back from your banish. So even if you get hit by Bestials, it's not the end of the world, you're not going to cry about it. 3 Neo Geyser Seahorse, obviously I've already showcased how good this was as a starter, and as an extender, you always want to have access to this card. And then obviously the 1 Blue Eyes, the 1 Mausoleum of White, the 1 Majesty with Dragons of White, and the 1 True Light. So we're playing 40 cards, maximum consistency, maximum cleanless, whatever, you get what I'm trying to say. Yeah, this deck, I want to say, is practically pure perfection. The only thing that you can really try to change at this point would be replacing hand traps with board breakers and starting to replace some hand traps with others. It's really format dependent, so yeah, don't judge the non-engine, just judge the ratios instead. For the extra deck, 1 Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, the graveyard effect to protect your Blue Eyes monsters from being targeted is really neat. It negates the activation and destroys the card. So sometimes your opponent doesn't play around it, and then he gets like blown out by the graveyard effect of a card that he didn't even know existed. 2 Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, this card's also really good. It can recur back your True Light, your Majesty, your Dominus Purge, your Imperm. So it's overall just really nice when you battle with this card. And it's also like an ultimate conductor Tyranno. We play 2 because sometimes we burn through the first one a little early, and we want to have a good grind game, so this card is overall really nice. The King Calamity and Crimson Dragon, if Crimson Dragon gets banned, then this whole package dies, but it's not the end of the world, like I said. There are a lot of other substitutes. 2 Blue Eye Spirit Ultimate Dragon, this card's really insane, obviously, and 3 Blue Eye Spirit Dragon. There is no way you can play less than this. You have to play 3. And if anything, you might also want to try to cut in 1 Azure Eye Silver Dragon. It gets you like an infinite recursion game, but I also don't think it's necessarily needed when you only play 1 Blue Eyes, so I don't know. I think Azure Eyes is kind of not a necessity anymore. It used to be good. Link Spider. So the reason why Link Spider is good is because sometimes you get hit by Nibiru, and you want to turn the Nibiru token into an effect monster so that your Sage can target it and then summon Blue Eyes from the deck. but overall, this shouldn't come up too often. And also Link Spider, I guess, so that you can turn your Blue Eyes Red Dragon into an actual effect monster so that you can make SP Little Knight. SP, speaking of the devil, this deck definitely does not need it. I barely summon SP in my playtesting, so if anything, you can swap these two cards with some rank 8 monsters. And you can also try to squeeze in some place for the Draglubion package so that you can OTK. But the issue is, summoning 2 level 8 monsters is... it's a lot of work. It's really difficult to do, so I don't know if you can really pull it off. You can if you're playing Tyrant of D, because then you have a level 4 tuner in the form of Neo Kaiser Seahorse and a level 4 non-tuner in the form of Tyrant. You don't really need to overcomplicate things, or you can play a second Blue Eyes Red Dragon and just say screw it. Yeah, it's not recommended though, because Blue Eyes Red Dragon is a brick. Again, Blue Eyes and Blue Eyes is what Cyber Dragon is in Cyber Dragon. It's just... you don't really want to draw the card, honestly. And then, yeah, Hieratic Seal and double copies of Spirit with Eyes of Blue. Very, very good card in the grind game. So the first one, you always start with it, and then you still want to have a second one so that you can follow it up. Because otherwise, you don't want to start burning all of your resources on turn 1. And then on turn 3, your board gets broken. You can't do anything. For the idea section, like I said, the Azure Eyes. This card can only revive back Blue Eyes if you're only playing one Blue Eyes, so it's not really good. Call by the Grave, this card actually sucks. It's also really bad in the mirror match, because if you try to go Call by the Grave under Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, and they chain a second one, they can summon the Blue Eyes Spirit Ultimate Dragon, and this card reads, your opponent cannot banish cards from your grave, so that the first Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon will successfully resolve, and then summon the Crimson Dragon. So, in other words, 2 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragons is guaranteed King Calamity through Call by the Grave. So yeah, this card's just not really good. Piri Race Map, I don't recommend this card because you pay 4,000 life points, which makes you even more vulnerable in time, just to search Sage every single time. And if you have Piri Race Map and Sage, it's redundant value. So I replaced Piri Race Map with Neo Kaiser Seahorse because this card is also a 1-card starter. But if you have Neo Kaiser Seahorse and Sage, it actually beats Hand Shops. Whereas if you have double Sage, it doesn't do anything. So yeah, you don't want to play like extra redundancy that doesn't make you do different things. This card just overall weak. And also the drawbacks of this card is just annoying for no good reason, and you have to use it at the very start of your main phase 1, which is just a little awkward. It makes you play a little worse sometimes. Melody of Awakening Dragon with a bunch of dragons, I really do not recommend. These cards are giant bricks. You can absolutely live without this card. Tyrant of D or Dictator, whatever. This card's not good. Neo Kaiser Seahorse is so much better. Dragon Master Magia, I could side it with Chaos Max and Ultimate Fusion. Well, I mean, if I play this package, which I probably would, I would have to main deck the Dragon Master Magia and then side deck these 2 cards. And then you can also play the White Stone of Ancients if you really want to with Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon, but it's just more bricks for no reason. And then the Ultimate Creature of Destruction. Yeah, it's not too bad. And finally, Skill Drain, which is completely insane in this deck because you have the best grind game in the world when you have Skill Drain up in Blue Eyes. So basically what's gonna happen is that every single turn you have the strongest monster because you have Blue Eyes Red Dragon and it's a pain in the ass to out. But also you can always get back your Blue Eyes by going normal summon effect Veiler, going to the Link 1, and then revive back your Blue Eyes and then attack. Or you can even revive back your Blue Eyes Spirit Ultimate Dragon in defense. You can't attack with it. Unfortunately, that's the drawback of Spirit with Eyes of Blue. But if this dies, then you can revive back your Light Dragon monsters from the grave, so that you can revive back the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, or Blue Eyes Red Dragon, whatever. You can do anything that you want. So yeah, it's really nasty. Skill Drain hurts your opponent way more than it hurts you, which is beautiful. And also, again, with True Light always getting back some advantage, you also really don't feel like Skill Drain hurts you at all. You have an infinite grind game, like I said. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys very soon with even more Blue Eyes content, so stay tuned. Peace.